Hey, what's up guys, it's Texmer talking to you here, and today there's more iPhone 13 leaks. But before I round them up, roll the intro. So, the iPhone 13, I should say a very leaked phone. The iPhone 13 or 12s, I don't know which name would you want to give it, but some reliable sources just like Mark Gurman or Minchi Kuo are indicating that this is more like an S year. So in my opinion, and John Prosser is talking about that too, I think this iPhone will be called the iPhone 12s. But for the sake of views and for the sake of this video, I will call it the iPhone 13. But before we start, I want to say that the iPhone 13 has been leaked until the infinity, because the iPhone 13 since, I don't know, January or October, when the first iPhone 12s were coming, were already being released new leaks and information about this new iPhone 13. So I think that it's very strange that Apple didn't announce it earlier. I'm just kidding, but I think that we know almost everything about this phone. But there's new and recent reports indicating that some technology that we were expecting on this iPhone is not coming anymore. But before I go deeper on that, I want to round up the leaks from before. Before, we were told that the iPhone 13 would feature an 120Hz display. That would be the main feature of the Pro models. So by now, that's still true, and that's no different from it was a few months ago. But the iPhone 13 won't feature a 120Hz display, only the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max. There were some reports talking about the iPhone 13 getting a 120Hz display, but that won't be any necessary and that won't make any sense. So expect 120Hz on the Pro devices. Also, John Prosser leaked the 1TB option on the Pro Max and Pro, but other leaks have said otherwise, so we don't know. Anyway, we are kind of wait to see if John Prosser was correct or the other leakers were correct. But these are almost the two oldest leaks that we got and on the iPhone 13, and I think from now on the leaks get a little bit more interesting. As you know, or may you not know, the cameras will get a redesign. Not the Pro, not the Pro Max, but the normal iPhones. These cameras will feature a different lineup, as you can see, and when compared to the older ones, I think they look uglier, but that's a matter of me getting used to it. And that kind of defeats the point of the lens having to be aligned, but I don't understand any of it. So in my opinion, it's just to make a different phone and to differentiate it for the iPhone 12, and I think that's Apple wants it by doing this. So expect the 12 mini and the 12 to have the camera lineup like this, as you see on the screen. Then we have the sizes of the cameras. So the Pro and Pro Max won't change in terms of lineup, but we'll have much bigger lenses, especially the iPhone 12 Pro. The iPhone 12 Pro features a smaller lens size when compared to the 12 Pro Max. But as you can see here, when compared to the iPhone 13, the difference is much bigger. And if you put an iPhone 13 case on an iPhone 12 Pro, you can see that there's a lot of space left where the lens should be. So we are expecting much bigger lenses on the iPhone 13 Pro, and that means we should get much better stabilization, much better low light performance, and a capability to zoom further like the iPhone 12 Pro Max has. So these camera improvements are expected because every year Apple upgrades their cameras and make them a little bit better than the year before, but I think that the bigger and huge camera improvements will come next year when Apple introduces the Camera Ear iPhone, which means the third generation of this design. Then the next technology we should be expecting to come on the iPhone 13 is Wi-Fi 6E. Finally, we're getting a new Wi-Fi standard, the Wi-Fi 6E. On the iPhone 12s, we have the Wi-Fi 6, and now there's another standard that has come out, which is a 6E, and that is cool which means we will access a different standard and we will have a less crowded area and Wi-Fi network. So this is cool, faster Wi-Fi and I don't know, incremental upgrades to the iPhone, and I think that's necessary to keep up with times. Finally, and I think that's the only bad news of this video, this iPhone 13, rumored of course, won't have Touch ID. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, on the most recent report, the iPhone 13 is expected to sell a lot, And that's why Apple has increased its demand and its supply chain capabilities. They are expecting to sell a lot of iPhones, but in my opinion, I don't think that's true, because last year they hit a super cycle where they've sold almost 200 million phones, iPhone 12s of course, and I think that doesn't happen every single year. So after a super cycle, Apple normally gets a year which is kind of slow because everyone has updated and they're now going to upgrade the year after, so it doesn't make any sense. And I think that this year Apple will sell a lot less than they were selling last year. But I mean, if they are expecting, what can I do? Make them and then store them and sell them for few cheaper prices on Amazon or Best Buy, I don't know. But the worst part of the report talks about Touch ID on the iPhone 13. For them, the Touch ID won't be coming until 2022, which means only on the iPhone 13s or 14. So it's kind of bad. I don't think that Touch ID should have been missed this year, because with the Max and stuff, it made a lot of sense to introduce it. But since Apple has introduced the option to unlock your iPhone with the Apple Watch, making a Face ID very important now, even when you're using a mask and usable, I think that Apple is not in a hurry to introduce Touch ID on the iPhones. But not everyone has an Apple Watch, and I understand why there's a hurry to get Touch ID on the iPhone 13. But Bloomberg has said that Apple tested out, there were prototypes, but they failed, and John Prosser has confirmed that too on the most recent front page tag. So I don't know, Touch ID was an incredible technology to add to iPhone, so you could have two biometrical unlocking the types of technologies, but I think that Apple has preferred to go and keep on with Face ID until Touch ID is perfected and is almost 100% perfect. So I understand their point of view.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Texumer from the editing rig here, and I was just reading the latest news on Apple, on Mac Rumors, and I just got information that Mark Gurman released a report on Bloomberg talking about the LTPO displays on the iPhone 13, the ones that will grant us 120 Hz. He just said that we will have an Apple Watch-like experience with an always-on display because of these new LTPO displays, which would not sacrifice battery life and still give us amazing always-on display, which is a pretty cool feature, and I'm very excited for that. Are you? If you are very excited for this new always-on display, which will have tons of new images and information to give you when your phone is locked, don't forget to leave your opinion on the comment down below and leave a like, please. I also forgot to mention that the batteries on this iPhone 13 will be much bigger. I'm expecting at least a 7 to 10% jump in terms of battery life. So as you can see here on the screen right now, the same percentages that we should expect on the new iPhone 13s in terms of jump. So I think it's pretty qualitative that the iPhone 13s must imperatively have bigger batteries, because although Apple has released the MagSafe battery pack, the battery life from the iPhone 12 Pro is miserable for the price you're paying. So in my opinion, Apple is doing the correct thing by increasing the battery capacities, and leakers have been confirming that all along.
But that's it for the iPhone 13. I think that right now we should be expecting an incremental year, and I think it will be called the iPhone 12s, in my opinion. And I think that this iPhone 12s we are talking about will be a very incremental year, and after, I don't know, 2-3 months, you won't notice almost the difference between the iPhone 12 and 12s, almost like the difference between the iPhone 10 and 10s. But what are your thoughts on this opinion, and what are your thoughts on this matter? Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, don't forget to leave a like down below, it helps the channel to grow, and please subscribe. We are 114 subscribers, we are on the road to 200 subscribers until the end of August or until the end of the year if it gets kind of slow. But this was Texumer talking to you here, bye!